Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2, a truly chaotic and most of all shambolic performance by both teams really, but mainly by Liverpool, who faced 10-men Tottenham for the majority of the game, and they even went down to 9 towards the end. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, welcome to another video. It's the not so instant match reaction to Liverpool's 2-1 victory over Spurs last night in truly chaotic and shambolic circumstances. Liverpool get the win, but it doesn't tell the full story, as the performance overall from the Reds was, to say the least, not great, despite facing Spurs, who were down to 10 men for the majority of the game. Opening half an hour or so, Xavi Simons got sent off for Tottenham. Liverpool went on to score through the likes of Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike, but towards the end of the game, it got a bit nervy. Richarlison grabbed the goal back for Spurs. Spurs even went down to 9 men when Romero got sent off. But even then, Liverpool was still on the ropes. Liverpool was still clinging on for dear life. And eventually, the final whistle was music to Arne Slot's ears as he got the win. But like I said before, that does not tell you the full story of what occurred last night at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be looking at the performance, the result, and everything else that goes along with that. But before we go any further discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And I also encourage you to get involved in the comment section down below. Using the views that section, people. Talk to me on the performance, the result, and everything else in between from last night's display by Liverpool and Tottenham. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'm sure it'll make for great and interesting reading. But for now, let's go on with the conversation ourselves, shall we? Let's talk Liverpool, the performance, the result, and everything else in between. Look, let's get the positive stuff out of the way and done with first and foremost. Liverpool get the 3 points. That's massive. Continues this sort of run we're going on right now. I'm not singing and dancing about it. I'm not claiming it's all sunshine and rainbows. But a win is a win at the end of the day, and we got the 3 points. We are now 5th. We are joint level on points with Chelsea. That was at least a positive on the night. Other positives, Isak scoring. Again, bittersweet because of the injury that happened instantly following his goal. You know, just we cannot catch a break with any of our new signings, can we? We really, really can't. And hopefully he's not going to be out for too long, but it didn't look great. So fingers crossed for a speedy recovery as far as what Alexander Isak is concerned. Florian Wirtz gets his first assist, proper assist, in the Premier League. That was a positive. I thought he had a good game overall. Capped off with finally getting that assist. He gets that kind of itch to scratch off his back, that kind of thing. Very, very good from him on the night, and very, very good of him to get that assist. Obviously now rival fans will move the goalposts on him and saying that, oh, he should have got more before now. But he's got it off of his back, and finally he can claim he's got an assist, and a proper official assist in the Premier League so far this season. And Hugo Ekitike continues his good run of form, scoring again last night. Very, very good header, very good goal, well taken. Yeah, solid performance from Hugo Ekitike overall. Very, very good win for Liverpool in terms of getting the 3 points. But the performance was shambolic. The performance was dreadful. The performance was actually probably worse than some of the performances we put in this season where we lost in games. That's how bad the performance was. It was just truly abysmal. Like, again, take little bits and pieces from previous weeks of match reactions and put them all together, and you've basically got an overall picture of what the performance was like for Liverpool. Because as much as the result is good, the performance was dreadful. The performance was absolutely dreadful. We've had a week to prepare for this game. We've had a week in which we've said, oh, it's been like the first week in a while in which we haven't had a midweek game to kind of interrupt our scheduling and interrupt our kind of training and all of that stuff. And this is the performance that we put in. This is the performance we put in. Spurs were the better team for the majority of this game. They really, really were. And they were down to 10 men for 60 minutes of it. For 60 minutes, they were down to 10 men, and they were still the better team. How is that even possible? The red card actually made us worse. The red card actually made us worse. We'll get onto the whole red card thing, was it or wasn't it, a little bit later, but the red card actually hindered us to make us look worse. Even though we were poor before, it made us worse somehow. I don't know how. Crazy to think that, but it actually did. We had no movement. We had no mobility. We were slow on the ball. We were making mistakes. Decision making was poor. We had no real attempts on goal, let's be honest. Like, there was only probably Wirtz's effort in the first half that, was the only real moment to talk about in the game. For a Liverpool versus Tottenham game, the first half was absolutely dreadful. Second half, of course, it picked up, it got a bit more lively, but the quality of football still wasn't great. And Spurs, again, was still the better side. And the only saving grace for Liverpool wasn't even that Tottenham were actually worse than us upon reflection. It was just moments of madness from certain Spurs players. Moments of errors from certain Spurs players. We won that game, not through any moments of brilliance from us. Like, don't get me wrong, the goals were well taken. The goals were well taken by both Isak and Ekitike. But with that aside, we didn't win that game through control. We didn't win that game through patterns of play and a sort of typical Liverpool performance or anything along those lines. It was just moments of madness from Spurs and individual errors from Spurs. And one particular Spurs player, Romero, who I have never rated, by the way. Just in case you don't know, I have never rated Christian Romero. Never rated him whatsoever. I think he's okay. But I've never rated the guy. I have never rated Christian Romero. And yet, displays again last night why I don't rate him. Because if it wasn't for Romero, Spurs get something out of that game, in my opinion. You can argue Xavi Simons as well. And again, we'll talk about the red card a little later. And it was pretty stupid what Xavi Simons did. But even at 10 men, Spurs looked like the better team. Even at 9 men, they still looked like the better team. But that extra man might have been the difference. Especially when Tottenham were pressing for that equaliser. That extra man for them might have been the difference between a point and a loss. They took Romero up front. Maybe he gets on the end of one of them dangerous crosses that Spurs were putting in towards the end of the game. That could have been the difference maker on the day. But he messed up. He messed up for the first goal. Individual error. Just smacks it straight at, was it McAllister or Jones? I can't remember now off the top of my head which one it was. And then obviously Liverpool break in the final third. And Wirtz, lovely little ball into Isak. Perfectly weighted. And it's a great finish from Isak. Downside, Mickey van der Ven's challenge. It's one of them where I feel like if Isak doesn't score, it's obviously a penalty, and it's probably a sending off for Van der Ven as well. But because he scores, there's whatever reason, Van der Ven gets away with it. Hopefully the injury to Isak is not major. It didn't look good, but hopefully it's like the best case scenario for this kind of potential injury. We are, obviously, like I say, I'm hoping for the best for Isak. He simply cannot catch a break right now. And last night was displayed on that. Then we go 2-0 up. Hugo Ekitike, Jeremy Frimpong, deflected cross, Ekitike. Look, there's got a little bit of controversy in the way that, he jumps for the ball. Romero's claiming for a foul. And usually those actually do go in the defender's favour. But how many times have we said that where we've gone, that's very soft. That's very soft. They disallowed a goal for a very soft touch on the back, or whatever it was, of Romero. I'm still under the impression that it was a goal. Genuine goal. Proper goal. We're all good. We're all good on that, in my opinion. I don't think that... I know Spurs fans may complain. I know they may bring out some old examples of times where that goal has not been allowed to stand. But we've all said it at times. It looks soft. Why they disallowed the goal? The goal should be allowed to stand. And on that night, it was allowed to stand. Again, you can call out consistency, but I've always said those goals should be allowed to stand. So based on that, I'm trying to be consistent as I can. Not trying to look at it through rose-tinted glasses or biases towards my own club. I'm just saying. Then Richarlison scores, and the instant wobble continues. The 2-goal curse of Liverpool looks like it's going to raise its head yet again. We get away with it. We're on the ropes. We managed to somehow get away with it. Romero gets sent off for a second yellow card. Should have been pretty much straight red. Absolutely stupid from Romero. We'll get onto that in a little bit. But Liverpool get the job done. Liverpool get the 3 points. They get the win. And we get out of there very, very, very lucky. Very lucky. Look, on the red cards, Xavi Simons is definitely a red card. I feel like if he was closer to the ball, or if he hadn't to stretch his leg out that far, you could maybe argue it shouldn't have been, but he doesn't get nowhere near the ball. He's stretching his leg out that far. It's a poor challenge. It's a definite red card, in my opinion. The referee made the right call. It was a bit rash. It was a bit stupid, bit naive, inexperienced, whatever kind of word you want to call it for Xavi Simons. It was definitely a red card. Very, very stupid. Very, very stupid. Like I say, he's not nowhere near the ball. He stretches his leg out that far to try and get it, but he's ultimately got nowhere near it. So that's on him. The second red card for Romero, again, definitive. It's a definite red card. You can't be doing that. The only thing I was surprised at was obviously a kick to the chest off the ball, right in front of the referee's nose, actually did result in a yellow card and a red. Because usually kicks to the Liverpool player's chest don't. If you watched the Brighton game last week, you'll know what I'm on about. If you watched Jeremy Doku or McAllister, you'll know what I'm on about. Or even the Aston Villa player that I can't remember who it was now, on Cody Gakpo, you'll know exactly what I'm on about. But Romero let his team down on the night. Like I say, giving the ball away for the first goal, not being strong enough against Ekitike, and then, of course, the red card. Absolute stupidity of the highest level from Christian Romero, and I think he really did cost his side. And I think Tottenham need to just basically cut their losses with this guy, in all honesty. Like, he's costing too many points. He's making mistakes. I know Tottenham fans are like, well, he's improved a lot. But he always has this moment of madness in him. And is it worth keeping him around when he's going to ultimately do this? He flies into challenges. He wears his heart on his sleeve. Is that enough? Is that enough? I don't personally think it is. I would hate to have a defender like that at my club. Just saying. But yeah, like I say, there's nothing to be positive really about the performance. The result was great. Of course, 3 points. Happy about the win. But ultimately, it's not sustainable. It's boring to watch. It's dreadful play. It's absolutely shambolic at times to even think like these are professional players that are worth a lot of money. Like, there's nothing sustainable about it. There genuinely is nothing sustainable about it. And, we go to Wolves next week. God only knows what's going to happen there. Like, obviously we should be winning that game. But let's say we hand Wolves a late Christmas present and they actually win their first game of the season. That's what I'm worried about. And I shouldn't be worried going into a game against a side who hasn't won this season. But I kind of am. Don't get me wrong, I still think we'll win, but there's a little bit of an element of doubt in my mind that we play like that, your luck's going to run out. Your luck will run out. And it may do next week. We've got to be better. We have to be better. But again, we've had a whole week to prepare for this game, and that's the kind of performance that we put in. Just slow, lethargic. Just nothing going for us whatsoever. Just no motivation to improve, get quicker, move the ball about. Positional awareness, sometimes it's all over the place. Defence looking shaky, naive, nervous. Second guessing themselves, don't want to put in a challenge. No one wants to take the game by the scruff of the neck. Has to improve. But it hasn't, because this is the kind of performances that have been going on all season long. All season long, these kind of performances have been going on. And every so often, you'll cherry pick one or two good performances and go, right, build on this. And then we don't. And that kind of inconsistency, to me, is not sustainable. And that's why, despite this good run of form, which includes, by the way, draws to the likes of Leeds and Sunderland, which people are getting jolly about, which I don't understand why, it's still not looking good for Arne Slot. That's why I'm still Slot out. He has to do a lot more than this to convince me otherwise. I'm happy for the win, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say that I hope we lose games to get him out faster. I'm happy for the win, but ultimately, the performances drastically need to improve. And, yeah, that's all I've got to say on that. Look, those are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know in the comment section down below what you made of last night's performance and result as Liverpool beat Tottenham by 2-1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Otherwise, hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. I've been Fletch. This has been another Fletch Talks video / not so instant match reaction. And I'll see you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the rest of your day. Speak to you all again very, very soon.